14 in Alberta. They defeat the Elks and are now 500. Was this a much needed win or was this a must win? Let's celebrate, deliberate with the 3 Down Bros next. Leo's Legion, your 3 Down Bros, Arthur, Roland, and Greg here. The Lions 32-14 and now back at 500, back into contention in the West Division. Let's talk about some high-level thoughts, starting this show off with Roland.
Good stuff. What a game. So first of all, if you're joining us online, welcome. Great that you can join us today. As usual, if you have any thoughts or comments, if you hear anything that we say that you agree with or disagree with, just put your thoughts in the comments in the YouTube chat, and we'll bring it up and we'll banter with you. So yeah, we'd love to. We always love doing that. So yeah, what a dominant win. I mean, it wasn't a perfect game, but man, what a dominant win. You know, my keys to the game was that we need to dominate the trenches, just like Calgary did. And I think for the most part we did. I mean, we were definitely, I don't think we are as good as Calgary yet, but we're moving in the right direction for sure. So really, really encouraging. You know, our receivers were catching, except for maybe for McInnes. He only had 2 targets. Our running game, man, we established a running game. So our O-line really did a good job. So yeah, awesome. So I'll go to Arthur now. Well, but before, actually, Captain Buttershirt said, "Don't start yet, not ready." Okay, I'm sorry.
Hello, Captain Buttershirt.
You can catch us when you're ready. All right, Arthur.
Talk slow, Arthur.
Talk slow. Well, my keys to the games was to limit the Elks' explosive plays, and I think they pretty much did that. And they had one cheap when they at the end, but I think Trey Ford can singly answer those explosive plays. He had a couple of good runs, but he just missed those deep balls. He connected on 2 of them. It's a different game, but he didn't. The Lions had some pressure, and then you know, he just couldn't complete it. So not a good game for Trey Ford. Really good on the defense. I think they really stepped up, and then in the second half, I think they really started to exert their will on the line of scrimmage, and they got a lot of pressure on the Elks quarterbacks.
Yeah. Cool. Greg, your thoughts?
Well, I said at the top of the show, was this a must-win or a much-needed win? I think it was, to me, a must-win, but I didn't want to say that until I got here because I didn't want Arthur to have any time to kind of put up an argument to that. But to me, it's a must-win because we talked about it today. Coming out of this 3-3, going into face Saskatchewan, I think a loss today would have been, you know, that would have been deflating after the Montreal win. And this was, I think, the next best kind of win. You had the squeaker where it was ugly and you won it. And then this one, like Roland said, it was almost perfect. My key to the game was a dominant pass rush, but disciplined. And other than those 2 runs that Trey did at the beginning, I think they were pretty good. They shut the run down like we talked about.
Yeah. And,
you know, we forced Trey to try to beat us with his arm, and he couldn't.
Yeah.
So this is a good win, I think, going into next week. We've got Saskatchewan coming in. And, man, if we can just build on this, like Buck says, just go to work, build on this. I'm liking them. I said last week they're at the corner peeking around. I think they're now turning the corner, but I'm not saying they've made it around the corner yet.
Not yet.
Because I'm very hard to please, and Arthur knows that.
Week 6, Greg. Come on. It's just where they are at the end of the regular season, man. Come on. You know it's CFL, man. Yeah, 1 in 6 teams make the Grey Cup. Come on, Greg.
No, they need
1 in
6
teams.
They need this for their
Well,
psyche.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't want them to go to 1 in 6 and turn it around. I don't like their chances, but it's happened.
Yeah.
Most recently with the Blue Bombers, they had a terrible record in the first third.
Yeah, but
So,
they have that mindset that Roland says we need to develop, and I really think
well,
we're
yeah.
well on our way to that.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that later in the show about dealing with adversity and BS officiating. Oh, can I say that? BS officiating? Yeah.
You can. It's
Yeah.
YouTube. It's
It's
YouTube.
okay.
Yeah.
Before
Happy game day, Captain Buttershirt.
yeah,
Woo!
Captain Buttershirt's back, so great. So if you think
That's the only BS, by the way, I want on our show. Buttershirt. That's the only BS we welcome on this show.
if you think Greg's hard to please, Perry says should have been 56-14.
Perry's even worse than me.
It's even worse.
No way.
All right, but anyway, Perry says poor Justin McInnes. How many catches? He actually had 2 catches, 2 targets, 2 catches, but the second catch was called back because of a penalty.
The phantom blocking call. Whatever.
Yeah, so stats wise, he only had 1 of 1, but I think Arthur was saying that he might not be 100% because
he didn't look like he was running right today.
And he didn't practice a full practice.
A couple of days. I think at least one day he didn't practice.
Yeah. So I think he's probably nursing something. So they were probably just letting him take it easy. So let him heal up properly.
But not bad enough to sit him out of a game.
Yeah. I think he was probably well enough to still be a decoy, right? Like what Arthur said. So
Agreed.
Okay, let's take a look at our agenda. All right. So just like last week, this will be kind of like more or less what we're going to go through today. We'll talk a little bit about adversity, officiating. I guess that's kind of similar to adversity. We saw some bad calls. Then offense, defense, and special teams. So that's kind of a rough outline. Given that it's a win today and people probably want to celebrate, we'll if we go a little bit off this agenda, that's fine. All right, so let's start off with adversity and slash officiating. Thoughts, Greg? You started earlier, so.
Well, I mean that drive killing. Yeah, Perry, send him over.
Greg got distracted by the.
Greg is easily distracted.
It's food.
Shiny object, Greg.
Yes, that drive killing, and we've seen that thing over and over. That mysterious procedure call that killed that drive in the opening, that killed the first down in the opening drive. That was horrific. And Lions punted, and then Trey, I mean they flipped the field thanks to Carl Meyer, and then Trey had those goofy runs, whatever. But I'm liking the way, and then further in the game there's those that missed call, the head to basically the face of Eberhard on that catch. No call, yet we get flagged for it. Like I'm officiating, to me, is the number one reason we hit adversity, because I think we've disciplined ourselves as Buck has requested. They didn't do any shoot ourselves in the foot call other than a few on Una, but again, he's learning the game. But I'm liking the way they're bouncing back. The bucknicity, and that's my term for the rest of the year. The bucknicity, tenacity, whatever you want to call it, is really starting to show with these guys. Peters, that illegal block on Seven McGee's punt return.
Yeah, that was
that wonderful special teams punt return that looked awesome.
So marginal.
That was crap. Yeah. I mean, come on, there's the official standing right there behind the returner. He can see that guy's looking to draw the call. I mean, throw the flag on unnecessary, unsportsmanlike conduct for trying to draw a call, like when soccer players flop or whatever, or when hockey players dive. That's garbage, and it and I'm going with Arthur. It degrades the credibility of this great game of ours, and it just makes it look bush.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my on the officiating and the adversity. I'm good.
I want to respond that to a bit, but before we do that, let me just read Captain Buttershirt. He was responding to a comment earlier. McInnes can take coverage to allow Barry Hill and Katoy to make drives. Then it's still a contribution from Justin. So definitely. So I just want to respond quickly. That first call, that procedure, I want to see the replay. They never showed the replay. I don't know what the procedure was.
We saw the replay. There was no movement on the line.
So there's no movement. There's nobody over the line. Nothing.
So I'm not sure what's happening there. And then that call on Peters for the block from behind. I mean, technically he did touch him, right? So I think, if the refs are going to call that, then they better call that for every other team, right? But I just quickly listened to a Farhansa post game blurb, and he said that up till garbage time, we only had 3 penalties. Is that true?
Maybe. Yeah.
Up till garbage time.
All depends when is garbage time. You're up by 4 scores or 3 scores.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then we're pretty disciplined from that perspective. Huge Benno says, hell of a performance from Nathan freaking Rourke and the boys tonight. We talked about the lack of grit last year, and that got dialed up to a David Pratt. How good is this? Captain Buttershirt.
David Pratt. There's a name.
We were at the game, Captain Buttershirt says, so we'll need to watch it to see the calls. Yeah, take a look at the replays. It's a head scratcher, some of those calls. Okay, Arthur, your thoughts on adversity?
Well, I mean, I think that was the big one. It was the punt return, right? The Lions punt return. You can see the Elk player ahead, the gunner, coming in. He sees Peters behind him, so he kind of puts his butt, pivots it, and then he sees Peters coming, and then he stops, and then Peters is like, they're running, right? So he kind of cuts in front of him, puts his butt in the way, and then once Peters touches him, he lunges at McGee, and then and then he throws his hands up to say, "Hey, I've been hit," right?
And then looks directly at the official.
Well, of course, and then even the TSN announcer saying, "Yeah, it's a bit of an embellishment."
Yeah,
it's pretty. Now, there's an official right there. Like, how many yards away, Greg? You think 15, 10 yards away?
I'd say 10 or within 10 or.
It's pretty odd. I mean, it's the gunner. I mean, there's nobody else there. It's
That's
two
right.
1-on-1, and then the returner, right? So it's pretty obvious what he's doing. To me, to take away an offensive play. You guys always talk about CFL. It's just a great game. The kicking, the punt returns, and I say, well, okay, I'll give you that, perhaps, but the officiating has to be there, and there's so many illegal blocks, and then missed illegal blocks. They got to clean this up.
As long as it's consistent, right? The problem is, if it's not consistent, then yeah. But if it's consistently called, for us and against us, then I can live with that. Right?
It's a pain point where it's kind of like you're flipping a coin whether the officials see any kind of infractions on the play or not, true or not, and then it's almost like, oh, is there any flags? Yes, happens in NFL as well, right? If there's a punt return, everyone's gonna say, oh, is there a flag? But here, because there's just so much more kicking, that you're always wondering if there's a flag, and then the debate goes, is it a cheap call or not? So to me, major pet peeve for me. But regardless, okay, they go back 10 yards, they don't get the touchdown. But then what happens? Rourke just marches it down. It was like 2.5 minutes left. He marched down, scored the touchdown. Love the adversity. That was. I think that was pretty much okay. Believe in the process, play physical football, and they rammed it down their throats. Right?
That's the physicality was very evident today, both on the offense and the defense. Right? Offense, we were pounding it down their throats. Defense, those hits, man. We saw so many big hits today, and some of them drew some penalties. But Arthur, you were saying, I'm going to take those penalties.
Like Dante Williams, 15 yards at the end of the game there. You're up 5 scores?
Yeah. That was tit for tat on Eberhardt, that spear. But
yeah, I mean.
Jeanette was at the game, Ro, based on that. I wonder if they can tell us, if anyone that was there can, they would have heard the hitting.
Yeah, both Jeanette and Captain Buttershirt.
Yeah, so I wonder if they can let us know how hard the hitting, because we heard it on the television broadcast, and some of that hitting was.
I know,
footballish. It was great.
So let me read some comments. Huge Benno says, for a second thought Butler was going to break Martell Lynch Mallett's single game rushing record for the team.
Oh, Martell Mallet, that's going back, Mr. Benno. Holy cow.
So James Butler tonight, if you haven't looked at the stats, 30 carries for 172 yards, 1 touchdown, and then through the air he had 3 receptions, 5 targets for 35 yards. And then 31 yards, yak yards. Oh, Jeanette says Captain Buttershirt is her husband. I hope I'm choosing the right person. Okay, so that's why they were at the game together.
Roland, you
let you
playing
know in a
Cupid?
second,
You
man.
playing Cupid, Roland?
Oh, Hugh Venice says 213 is the team record. Okay, and okay, I got the right one. Jeanette says yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Perry has a direct question for you, Arthur. You changed your hairstyle, gel or mousse?
We have a new makeup crew, okay, Perry?
Yeah, we expanded our budget.
He says incredible, but I'm sure that's not for that comment.
If definitely it's not coming from Greg. That's definitely not giving it to Greg.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, I said this. I said this before, but Buck Pierce was preaching physicality and overcoming adversity, and we saw both of that today. So
Actually, we saw overcoming adversity with that physicality. That's even better.
yeah. So Perry wants some samples
Of Arthur's hair?
whatever you're using, I guess your product. Nathan says, yeah, great game plan by using Butler early in the game for the checkdowns. It set up the run later in the game. Rourke has struggled against zone in the past, but he was patient with short passes early. Yeah. Great analysis, for sure. Our offense was just on fire today. Now, people will say, okay, it's only Edmonton. True, but it's still a dominant win. Like the stats, look at the stats. Let me read some of the stats back if you guys haven't looked at it. Like we have 345 yards passing. They have 112, and out of that 112,
I think it's probably Cody.
yeah, Cody was 78, so Trey was only 34, so 78 yards in garbage time. So we had 345. Rushing, we had 183. Theirs was 66. Out of the 66, Trey had 47. Right. So dominant game. Even the time of possession, right? By the end of the game, it's 42 minutes Lions, 17 Elks. And I don't know how many of that 17 was garbage time either. So, yeah. So, Captain Buttershirt has a request. We might need a second 3DB show a week. One to digest the game and one as a question-answer forum.
Hey,
Okay.
are you going to supplement the salaries of these 3 DBs there, Captain Buttershirt?
Yeah. We want a 100% increase. Though we won't tell you that 100% of zero is still zero. So.
You can send us a sandwich. I'll do it for a sandwich.
Jeanette says the last big hit upset a lot of people in the stands. People were throwing things on the field. Not sure if they showed that on
Oh,
TV.
didn't see that.
Not
No,
the
not
throwing
No,
things.
we
but
heard the booing.
The
We heard
hit,
the booing.
The hit was huge. His helmet did hit the face mask of the receiver. So to be fair, I think the penalty was warranted.
Yeah, it was a big hit.
But
Yeah.
the hit that he did week 1, that was not warranted. I'm going to stand on that the rest of the season because helmets came off, it was helmet to chest. But that receiver's got to be wondering what he's done to Deontay Williams to tick him off, because that's twice in 2 games he's taken that kind of shot from Deontay.
I think he was just at the wrong place at the wrong
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, Edmonton had some really bad hits on our guys too, and some of them weren't even called, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're head hunting. They're putting their heads first.
Head hunting, knee hunting.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad.
Yeah, Talents Aviation. Hey guys.
Hey, how's
Talent.
Winnipeg?
So okay, so that was. Let's go to the next.
Go to right to offense, because I think we took care of officiating with adversity.
Yeah,
there.
we got officiating. Let's go to offense. Okay, let's have Arthur start.
Well, I mean, they had a big game. We talked about that, but my game ball went to Keon Hatcher, who was 9 for 9. Lot of tough throws and tough catches on tough throws.
Yeah.
A lot on second down, and he's gritting it out, getting that second down yardage for the first down.
Yeah.
Right on second down, getting that first down yardage. So he had a great game. Like.
That's Keon Hatcher of old.
Keon Hatcher, yeah. Keon Hatcher had a great game with 9 catches. So let's start with him. Unfortunately, JB is going to get some love, but with one of you guys. But that's what I noticed with the receiving core is, and also like, but Berryhill, he had some big catches as well.
Yeah.
With so the receivers as a whole, they did their job. Katoy, wow, Roland's favorite player.
Yeah.
Like I think so. Apart from the defense is going to get a ton of love. They should. The O line, wow. I mean, I was really
impressive.
I was a little skeptical. Right? Going against
we were talking about
Brinkman
it.
and Serezna, with
we got two new guys, right? Pearson on center and Una on right guard.
yeah. So I was a little like worried, but hey, they held their own, and then they got all those yards on the ground and then through the air, and for the most part, and Nathan only maybe took a couple of hits. So yeah.
So let me I'll just read some comments. So Talent says Ford had barely 40 yards passing in the first half. Actually, you probably weren't here yet. Ford had a total of 34 yards passing for the whole game.
Let's say he had over 30. It sounds a lot better than under 40.
So 34 yards. So Talent says certainly interest in Winnipeg, hoping we can recover for our second game against Calgary. Actually, Jeanette says Katoy is his favorite player, her favorite as well. 87 Dodge, run game. Hey,
There's a Roland fan right there, man.
Yes. House for Life says, I think it's a different game if Peters doesn't get that pick. Else we're marching.
Good point.
Not sure.
I mean, it was second and longs, and Ford runs for 30 yards.
But let's say that guy comes down with it and they score a touchdown. Let's entertain hindsight here. I mean, down the line, you're playing catch up. Ford's got confidence. The team's got confidence.
Okay.
Then 7-0.
Yeah, at home.
At home, 7-0 in the first quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nathan's backing him up, saying it seemed like Trey's interception spooked him a bit, and he started to overthrow his receivers. Okay. I mean, he did overthrow a lot of receivers, so it could be that spooked him. Yeah. Talon says, did Fajardo have more passing yards? Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he had
his first completion.
He had 78. Trey had 34, so he doubled Trey's number.
What was it? 3 attempts?
He had 7 attempts, 5 completions. Okay. Trey had 12 attempts, 4 completions. So I'll go a little bit off script here, but earlier, Greg, you asked, is Trey going to be in the league much longer after this game? I don't know. What do you guys think online? I mean, today's performance was really bad.
I mean, he's supposed to be their future. So, yeah, we talked about that before we came on. I said, hey, bro, if he keeps playing like this, how much longer do you think he's going to be in the league? Right? Yeah. I don't know. Definitely not a starter. But
I mean, I like him. He's Canadian, quarterback, good story. But today's performance was quite bad, right? So
and we talked about during his post game, right, Arthur? He didn't really seemed pretty upbeat about it. I mean,
he owned up to a lot of his own mistakes.
Yeah, but I guess, what can you say? Yeah,
Greg, he's had practice.
True.
He's had practice being in the situation, right?
Yes, true.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we talked about that, Talon. Yeah, we said, Mazzoli, though, after his performances, he seemed literally like he let the team down. He took it, and he was down about it.
Well, Mazzoli looked like the guy that this might have been my last chance to legitimately lead a football team.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
But then Trey Ford, it's like, someone's going to pick me up, right? So I'm going to get more chances.
Yeah.
But, okay, take away the Canadian label. Take away the label that the Elks have named him the quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
If he's some unknown American quarterback who had a game like that, what's going to happen, right?
Nah.
Yeah, look at Delegala. Look at who are all the other quarterbacks that kind of got thrown by the wayside. So, yeah.
He had a good performance the week prior, right? The game prior, right? When they got their win.
That was a lot on Rankin, that one.
Yeah, and then he had when in garbage time he made some games close, right?
Garbage time.
Yeah.
Jeanette says, good to see them using Mazzoli for short yard plays.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's a little more confident than Bryce is. I wasn't sold on Bryce that one time they used him. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I was impressed with Pearson because we haven't seen him be a starter for this year, right? This is the first time I think he was a starter this year.
Yeah, might be.
Yeah, this year, yes, this year.
This year,
yeah.
But you know, he was 5-6 yards downfield blocking for guys. Yep. So I was pretty impressed with him, and in the locker room too, he was hyping up the team, right? So he's a leader that way.
He seems to be that vocal leader, like based on that post game. He seems to be the vocal leader now that TJ is gone in that locker room, and he answers the bell every time. I mean, he's Mr. Plug and Play. He's played every position on that line, and he answers the bell, in my opinion, when called upon. I wasn't sold on him when he first started, as Arthur will attest.
Who are you sold on that O line, anyways?
Broxton. I was sold on Broxton. Yeah, but no, I'm.
That's a short list.
Well, I'll wait till my turn to talk about the offense. I'll wait till my turn. I'll wait my turn.
All right. Actually, it might be your turn. Are you done, Arthur?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right.
I was done a while ago. You guys are chatting.
It wasn't Roland's turn. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, Greg, your turn.
Well, I mean, Arthur pretty much said everything that I was thinking. That O line, we talked about it yesterday. Like we're talking about our CFL fantasy team and everything. I was like, oh, Rourke, you want to take him? Well, I don't know. There's going to be a revolving door between Pearson and Una. And now I know in garbage time there's those back-to-back holding calls and procedure on Una. But I said today during the game, this is a good game for him to learn because Edmonton's front seven aren't slouches, right?
Yeah.
And, he's got to deal with Nick Anderson and who's that number 45? They're dual.
Morgan. Niles
Morgan. Plus Serezna and
Brinkman.
And I mean, he did okay, right? He did okay. And they did a lot better than we thought they were going to. And I will give them credit because, again, Pearson as a center, you've got to call, a whole pile of stuff down there in the trench. Like, what is their blitz formation? What are they doing? What gap? Yeah. You got to call gap canceling, all that stuff. And you're audibling to a line. And, right. You played center, you played guard, you played tackle, you played tight end. So, what?
He knows,
Yeah, kudos to them.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they, again, the bucknicity of it all, whatever, is they started the run right at the teeth of that Edmonton D. And it didn't look good, but they kept at it. Mixing in that short passing game, which I kind of mentioned during the game, that's almost like a running game. Like that short passing game sets up the run, vice versa. And that eventually softened them up for deeper downfield. And wow, the bucknicity that those receivers had. Hatcher, again, he knows that contact's coming, but he's not looking. He's looking that ball into his hand, and he's taking that first, second, third, fourth contact and looking like Hatcher did 3 years ago before that Achilles injury. And Katoy taking those hits. Those guys were not going to be denied. And Edmonton secondary, to me, is actually one of the better ones. They're physical. They're really physical. And we took it. And we took it right in the teeth.
We out-physicaled them today.
Yeah. And nothing, we didn't cower. And I'm really proud of that O. And well, Nathan's Nathan. But, I mean, the O-line gave him time. I mean, you're going to get blitz. J.C. Sherritt has played in the league. I'm sure he can call a good D. And you know what? You've got Una and Pearson there. And really, I think we gave up, 2 sacks? 2?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, let me look it up.
But we weren't, Butler was never hit for, tackled for loss, I don't think. It was just so nice to see first contact on our running back.
Just one sack.
Oh, just one. Okay.
1 sack, yeah.
And I think Nathan was discretion, better part of valor. Let's just take the sack, not throw it up there.
Yeah, exactly.
But Butler's first point of contact was generally linebacker or secondary, which, like you said, Pearson's 5-6 yards down the field. Well, that's linebacker territory.
Yeah.
That was just refreshing. Now let's carry that in.
Average 5.7 yards per carry for Butler.
There you go. So let's take this O, build on it, and punch Saskatchewan in the teeth.
Yeah.
Please.
One other thing that I was really ecstatic about, there was one screenplay to the right where we got 10 yards, a first down on first, with a screen.
Which is what Buck is preaching.
Yeah, the last 3-4 years, our screen passes, we would get 1 yard or maybe lose 2 yards.
We would probably
So,
lose more than we gain, right? Because the receiver is standing there like, was I supposed to block somebody?
yeah. So,
But it's the same receivers. That I will say, like now they're getting in people's face and they're blocking.
yeah. Actually, the screen I was talking about was a screen by the linemen, not the receivers.
Oh, okay.
So the linemen all went out and blocked for Butler. And
Yeah.
I think one of them, I think it was Pearson, got his guy, and the other two kind of missed their guys, but it was enough interference that Butler was able to get through and get 10 yards.
And they were there. They were where they were supposed to be.
Yeah. And okay, Nathan says McSimic said our receivers aren't built to block for screens. Yeah, that's coming back to haunt him. Last week we saw them blocking for receivers.
Yeah, they're not built right, McSimic. They don't have 2 arms. They don't have 2 legs. They ain't built to block.
Our number 1, number 2, number 3 receiver last week, right? Hatcher, McInnes, and Kotoy, all blocking for Berryhill.
Yep.
Talon tongue-in-cheek says Ford for RB2.
Would you take Ford for QB2 here, Arthur?
I think he's saying RB2.
Running back 2. Backup running back.
Would you take Ford here for QB2 based on
how much is it going to cost me? What's his salary? But
that's true. I'm just talking based on his ability.
I mean, he's better. Is he better than Chase Bryce?
We haven't seen enough Chase Bryce to know.
Yeah. So 87 Dodge says he'll be around. I think he's talking about Ford.
Yeah.
He still has a ton of upside. The Lions defense shut down the run. True. The Lions offense dominated time of possession,
which is another form of defense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, yeah, I think 87 Dodge is right. It's too premature to declare the demise of Ford. But
get much worse.
But all the opponents now know how to shut him down. If you shut down the run, and you force him to pass, that's the way to beat Edmonton.
Mm.
And don't let him run around too long.
Yeah. Okay, so that's offense. Let's go on defense. We touched on some defense already, so just whatever we haven't touched on yet. Let's start with Greg.
Well, that's what I had asked at the top of the game. Pre-game key to the game was disciplined pass rush, and it was just nice to see Betts and I guess it's Tuhema was our first unit going in with that contained rush, and Betts had good angles. I mean, there was a couple times, and give it to Trey Ford, he's got athletic ability.
Yes,
but there was that time that Betts ran him and angled him out to the sideline.
Yeah,
that was good angles of pursuit. They blocked up the lanes. They did their jobs. Rankin, I mean, that first hit by Tuhema to start the game when Edmonton had the ball.
Yeah,
tackle for a loss, and that again is what defense is supposed to do, is set the tone. And hey, kudos to that whole entire defensive unit. I was a little worried about GP, which we talked about last week, but you know what? He was vindicated, redeemed, whatever you want to call it, that INT, and it was well fought. He fought it out with one arm, and he got it. He was where he needed to be. It's underthrown, so be where you need to be. Make a play on the ball, and he did. And Arthur mentioned it today during the game. They were flying to the ball carriers. Their closing speed on the El Camone's, can I say that? Yeah. The El Camone receivers, their closing speed was awesome, and there was backup.
Yeah. Right?
It was, I mean, we could see it better on the broadcast, but there was, minimum 2 guys there, Arthur, on most of those? And again, the offense, good sustained drives, which gave the defense time to recover. So when they were on the field, they had full tanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Very happy with the way they played.
Okay. Arthur?
Yeah, I mean, Craig said it's great complementary football. The time of possession totally skewed in the Lions' favor. The offense was just ball control. You guys mentioned a lot of short passes to start the game.
Yeah.
You know, with a O-line that's banged up, you want to get rid of the ball quick. Like those really quick 5-6 yard passes, a couple of yards yak. You're 2nd and 3. Then you can run Butler. You can open up a lot of your playbook. So that helped the defense. So now they can fly. Lots of 2-and-outs, right? Yeah. They weren't on the field for long. So when they're on, they're flying around. Yeah, they don't have to conserve. this might be another 6-minute drive. I better conserve. I better not, let me just play it safe, right? Bend, don't break. But I'll be on the front foot. Little footy analogy for you, Greg. Well, I'll be on my front foot, and I'm going to attack the ball carrier. I'm going to attack the ball, knowing that other defensive guys, they're going to fly to the ball because they got energy. So I'll start is like you guys always mention. We all mention about complementary football, and if they had it tonight, and also the D line did get some pressure.
Yes.
So that definitely helped.
Yeah, that's right. A lot more pressure. I mean, sacks, we had one. There was another one by Covington that was called back because of penalty.
Another one of those phantom calls. I didn't mention that during my, like, whatever.
Yeah.
He put his leg out, stepped over. His leg was not. I mean, I get it if you whip your leg to trip, but he put his leg and then brought his body over right away. It's like the leg was stepping across.
Yeah.
I don't call that a trip.
Yeah, that was really marginal. Todd says, I was in the stand, so hard to tell how Josh Woods played. I did see him stuff a run or two.
He did. I think in the first couple of he stuffed Rankin early on first down, like either for a short gain or even for a tackle for loss. So Woods played well in his limited minutes.
Did they sort of game manage him, like workload manage him? Like was he on the field?
They brought him in. Yeah, I think he would
with Deontay a bit.
Yeah, that's what I would say. First down, and then he'd come off. I noticed he'd zero in on him making a tackle, and then he'd be jogging off the field in second down and second and long.
So the defense. You guys touched on I think most of the stuff already. So let's move on to special teams. Oh, I must say Nathan was given credit for one tackle as well, for defensive tackle.
Oh, really? Cool.
So.
On the fumble, on the interception, the unfortunate bounce.
Yeah, so for the longest time, the only score that Edmonton had that touchdown was due to that botch play, right? When Nathan threw the ball, hit Kotoya in the back of his helmet, and then it bounced into what was his name?
Serezna. He made a good play. He made a play to catch, and he dropped it.
Yeah.
So we're wondering if did he have possession long enough, and then
he
fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Then he fumbled the ball forward.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, credit working for going in there to tackle Serezna. Come on.
All right, so let's go to special teams. Okay, I guess Arthur, you go first.
Well, I like the CFL return game more if my team had a return game to begin with, but it's like, okay, just don't fumble.
You didn't see any glimmer today with Seven McGee?
Well, yeah, I mean the one that was called back, but we saw the flag and we saw the infraction and the embellishment right at so already I'm kind of like, oh, it's coming back.
Yeah.
Right, because you see it's pretty obvious because you're like, okay, he's coming in and he dives and then you see a flag go. You're like, oh,
but
brother.
The announcers were saying, and Farhan said as well, that even if Gary Peters let him go.
Yeah,
he would not have been able to influence the play.
Yeah.
So then, that return would have been, would still.
Well, what happened? He went up the right. He turned around, and then he went up his left.
Yeah, he came across the field and vectored it left.
And
did I say vector? Sorry.
Well, yeah, but you want the vector right away, and he kind of fumbled around onto his right and then went left and then vectored and then he accelerated away from the pursuit,
and he broke some tackles when he went over to that right sideline to come across. I'll give him that.
So I mean, is there a glimmer of hope? Well, you know me, Roland. Sure, why not? I mean, it's better than just catching the ball going up 5 yards and running into a tackle, right?
Yeah.
So we saw that for the last 3 years. So if there's going to be some returners that are going to try to, I don't know, try to take it outside like Greg always wants them to do and try to make some plays with speed, I'm all for it because right now
to do it.
Yeah, well, we had last year, right? On the practice roster.
Oh, yes.
But to the genius of Rick C, they kept Terry Williams as our returner. So,
Yeah. Well,
but yeah,
the longest punt return for McGee was 11 yards, and kickoff return longest was 30 yards.
yeah. Let's just say this way: he's fresh on the kickoff returns.
Yeah.
But I mean, cover teams is, I think, decent. I mean, they have leak back there, and
he's
they didn't.
danger, right?
Yeah, so I think that was very promising.
Yeah.
The return team hasn't been an issue.
Yeah. Longest.
You mean
for,
the coverage?
Sorry,
coverage.
coverage team. Sorry, yes.
So Leak was longest kickoff return was 22 yards. So McGee actually returned longer, and longest punt return was 8 yards.
Well, we only punted twice, and Edmonton punted how many times? 7.
No, we punted 3 times. Don't forget the 1 time in garbage time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, three times. Yeah.
Sure.
So okay, Greg, thoughts on special teams?
Well, no comment on the return game because we don't have one. We don't have a returner. We haven't had a returner in a long time.
Do you see a glimmer of hope with McGee?
No. Look, think about it.
It's a hard man to please.
Those elk see that flag. They're not going 100%, right? They're still going to make the effort just in case the flag's not there. But he pulled away from the team, but really they're not giving everything. And like those returns, when you look at Pimpleton, who's only been in the league half a year, and he was only in for half a year last year. Now this year. Isaiah Wooden, those guys, when they make a decision to go, they go. McGee still looks like he's trying to figure out where he wants to go. And as a returner, the more time you take to figure it out, the faster the coverage team closes on you. Now, coverage, I am happy with the steady improvement ever since, and all due respect, I don't even remember his name. He was here when Rick C was here, but then he had to go, and I hope it wasn't bad for personal and family reasons, and then Benny took over. Ever since Benny took over back then, our coverage teams have gotten better and better and better. They gave up a couple long ones to the Elk in week 1 to kind of worry us about the momentum. But all in all, I think our coverage team gives me a beacon of hope versus a glimmer. But the return game, they ain't no light bulb there. I'm sorry. Nothing.
There ain't nothing there. There ain't nothing there.
All right.
No.
All right.
No. Roland?
Okay. I mean, I think this is probably one of the best we've seen from our special teams for a long time. So is it good enough? I guess it's hard to say.
Low bar.
It is a low bar, yes.
It's a low bar,
It is a low bar. Captain of Buttershirt says, Philip Brooks seems solid at practice. He might have had some return duties in the past. Okay.
Captain Buttershirt, need I say he's the speedster at 4.5 second 40? That's sundial time. Sorry.
Okay.
Much as I respect.
Morvital says, checking in, happy with the win. Still lots of work on. Let's keep stacking W's. Yes, for sure.
There we go. Realism. Lots to work on.
87 Dodge. Yep, the return game needs work. Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement. We're nowhere near where it needs to be.
Not based on the other, and yes, like Arthur will say, it's only a 9-team league, but we are far below the other 8 with a return game. Sorry.
Okay. All right. It's okay. 2 out of 3 in bad offense.
Well, really, if you're the other team and you're
defense,
punting to us, are you worried? No.
That's good. Maybe we'll catch them. Maybe we'll catch them sleeping.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
our returners are so slow
that's
they'll
football,
fall asleep.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's all on our agenda. So let's go to Arthur's questions.
All right. Roland, you are a proud flag-waving Canadian.
Yes.
And
Right.
you must, in a big win, you must have a really good Canadian player. So who is your Canadian player of the game?
All right. Before I do that, I'll just read more.
I like that Morbital.
Let's work on the punt block to fix the return game. Yes.
Based on the officiating, Morbital, if we look at the punter, we'll get a flag for contact, and then we'll get a flag. But yes, I like that. I like that point, though.
Yeah. All right. So definitely Nathan Rourke had a good game. Great game. 345 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 26 out of 30. So only 4 drops, right? And then he ran for 8 yards as well, and one defensive tackle. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I won't give it
Canada.
to him. Um, so I'm going to give it to Kotoy because 6 targets and 6 receptions.
Surprise.
74 yards, but those were tough catches, right? I mean, maybe not as tough as Hatcher's today, but they were still very, he took some hard hits, and he knew the hits were coming. 39 yards yak. So
Got the first
That's the
touchdown.
impressive. Is
Yeah,
the
Got the
first-
first touchdown could get us going.
the
I mean,
first
it's important.
touchdown. He avoided those tackles that was waiting for him at the goal line.
And those yak yards fire up the team, do they not? Like, I mean, they see you taking shots and just keep going and keep going.
Yeah, and not just that, he was blocking a lot on the line as well. So if he wasn't out running routes, he was helping do a pass defense, right? Pass blocking. So he was a tough guy today. So I'll give it to him.
All right.
Good
Greg,
choice. Good choice, sir.
good choice. Always looking out for the little guy, the underappreciated. Who is your unsung hero player of the game?
Well, unsung hero is not a little guy. He's actually quite a big guy, and I'm going with Andrew Pearson. As I said earlier, Mr. Utility, plug and play, every position on the O-line plus tight end. You know what? And he does it with a smile. And I've never ever questioned his football IQ. The guy is highly intelligent.
Yes.
I've just questioned his physical ability when he first got here, and I will be the first one to say, you know what? The improvement has been awesome, and he does what he needs to do, and he shows up when called upon. He answers the bell, and I mean, like you said, Arthur, he's going up against Serezna, he's going up against Anderson, Brinkman, and
Morgan.
Niles Morgan, and plus again, he's got to call gaps and assignments and all that, and basically audible his own line.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely unsung hero, because again, those guys in those trenches, they're getting smacked on every single play.
Yeah.
Good on you, 54.
Yeah.
He was quite physical today. He was leading blocks downfield. He was also pushing the pile from behind a couple times. So I love to see that, right?
Yeah.
And then he happens to, you fall on one of those guys and like, oops, like, hey, he went above and beyond today, and again, unsung hero.
Yeah. Okay, good call.
All right.
All right. Arthur.
So my Lions, like, big picture moment, like, from the coaching staff, from the management, a big decision they made. Wow, this game, James Butler, JB, wow, what a game.
Yes.
Roland mentioned it already, 172 yards rushing, 35 yards receiving. Key free agent signing. They could have had maybe William Stanback come back, and he's not as good receiving out of the backfield, maybe more of a power runner.
Yeah.
JB's more of this, can I say Oliveira type
I think so.
player?
Closer to Oliveira.
Closer Oliveira type, and it fits in better with Winnipeg offense. Now, I'm not sure if it's something Buck wanted, Nathan wanted, maybe a combination. They say maybe if we can get JB, that might be something that would be good. And wow, he sure fit in. Like, he had Roland mentioned about a screen pass. I remember another one. It was after Work got sacked or a loss, and then they're like second and long, like over 10, like 15, and then he gutted out a big first down. And another time it was on, I think it was on that last drive before the half, and it was 2nd down and 5.
Oh yes.
On the 15-yard line, right? So
Yeah.
McSimic offense in the past, we're passing. There's no way we're running the ball.
Yeah.
So what we do, 2nd and 5, give it to Butler. He gets a first down, but he keeps pushing for the end zone. He gets it in the end zone.
Yeah.
So this is what you want, right? 2nd and 5 on the 15. You have the physicality, the toughness to run the ball, and he runs between the tackles and gets the touchdown.
Yeah.
Versus just get the first down, then you gotta get another set of downs in, but he just punches it in.
Yeah.
So that's what we want, and I think it was a great pickup for the management and the coaching staff.
And if I could just add to your point, I mean, they talk about it on all the broadcasts too. His picking up of blitzes, he takes great pride in his blocking, which I think sets him above. All due respect to Stanback and the power running, I think that sets him above too, because when it is an obvious passing down, he goes in there and he knows who to take, and he takes it. He takes the hit, right? I mean, he puts his body in there to keep his quarterback upright.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So those are Arthur's questions. I guess now we look at predictions. So last week's predictions, Arthur, you want to run us through?
So last week's predictions, we start with Greg, who went first, 27-19 BC. Then I went 24-17 BC. And Roland went 36-27 BC. So we all thought the elk offense was going to do better. But we all got them right. We all got it right, the winning team right. So this week, I'm first to start.
All right.
So
Thank
it's
So against
Saskatchewan at BC.
Saskatchewan, who just lost to Calgary.
He'll be cranky.
Nah. So, my prediction, how I kind of went ahead with this season was they're gonna be 4-4. They were gonna be 4-4 after 8. I'm gonna go 27-21 BC.
All right. Okay, who's next?
Oh, it's Roland.
Okay. So I'm going to go with BC as well. I think...
Well, surprise, surprise. You've gone BC every week. I can see here, Roland.
That's true. You have the history.
I have the history.
So I think if we can play the same way we did today, I think we can dominate. We could dominate the same way. We saw how Saskatchewan was beat. Calgary showed us, right? They dominated the trenches, both O-line and D-line. And we were able to do that today with Edmonton. Now, Edmonton, of course, is not Saskatchewan. But I think if we could do that, then I think we can win. So let me see. I'm going to say... 30-23.
BC.
Yeah.
All right, Gregory. What say you?
29-23 BC. Only because, again, the Elk have not a bad front seven, and Saskatchewan's not much. I mean, I don't think they got anywhere near VA at all. And hopefully we'll get some O-line help back healthy. But I kind of like Pearson at center.
I like our lineup. I think even if the others get healthy, maybe we should stick with our current lineup.
I mean, the only one might be Couture. He's, on a one-game injured list, and it was just his hand. So, I mean, it's not like,
Which is a center, though,
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see. I think Packer's the 6th game. Allen's on the 6th game. Yeah. Allen would be good to get back. But, we'll see what happens.
So Captain Buttershirt says, it's our house, bring the noise and make a difference. Lions to win.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Smash some watermelons.
It's going to be a very...
Well, Captain Buttershirt was in the stands today at the Elk game.
In Edmonton, yeah.
Is he, Captain Buttershirt, without being too personal, are you from BC and went with the Operation Orange, or are you an Albertan and just loves BC? Because he's saying it's our house. So I'm hoping we'll see him in the stands. We can come say hi. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Saskatchewan's going to be a real test, I think. Today,
well, because there's going to be a lot of green shirts in the crowd too. Guarantee it.
Yeah, they're definitely stronger than Edmonton. So it's going to be a test. But if we can win it, then that proves that we've got, Edmonton wasn't just a fluke, right?
Because if we can harass Trevor Harris, because he's not that mobile, is he?
Against Calgary, he was like,
well,
like
that
he
was also his
missing.
first game back after injury, but
yeah.
I wonder if that concussion just slowed him down. But then a lot of his receivers, like some of his key receivers are out for injury.
Yeah. So Captain Buttershirt says took the family to Edmonton for the game. Okay, wonderful.
Wow. Okay. Well, then if he's in the stands at the Saskatchewan game, come say hi.
Yeah, that goes to everyone online. Come say hi. They're in section 234. What section are we? 240.
246.
246.
So we're all we're
not too
they're
far
towards the end zone, I think, right? No, they're towards
the other way.
They're towards they're to our right.
Yeah,
midfield.
Right.
Midfield. You're right.
Yeah, they're closer to
Okay,
midfield.
can you wear a shirt covered in butter so we know who you are? Oh, okay. So we'll look for Mr. and Mrs. Buttershirt. Okay.
Okay. We'll look for them. And go to anyone else too.
We'll be wearing our 3 Down Bro jerseys.
Yes. So, all right. It's 9:25, so we're getting to the end of the show. One thing I wanted to bring up. Both Arthur and I, one of your questions for the whole season at the beginning of the season was who was going to be the first head coach fired. And both Arthur and I predicted Dave Dickinson. the way Calgary is playing right now, I think that's going to be a very slim chance now.
We just hope that yeah. But I just can't see another coach. I mean, and then Greg, selected Bob Dice, and Greg's probably going to win this one.
But unfortunately, I don't want to. But I mean, it's just looking that way.
I mean, Buck Pierce and Killam are new. O'Shea's not going to get fired. I mean,
Milanovic and Hamilton.
Mace is not going to get fired, so that's the West. And then you go to the East. I mean, Milanovic he's first place in the East now.
Yep. And who the heck?
Dinwiddie's not going to get fired, is he? I mean, he's won in whatever, but he's without a starting quarterback. And then who's Montreal's head coach is Jason Moss. So maybe no coach gets fired in this year.
Well, the question was if there is one, who will be?
Well, first coach fired. So so basically, it's like the next coach fired. Okay.
Oh, Sean White. Okay, their daughter, Little Buttershirt.
Okay.
Sean White fan. Okay.
Number 10's the biggest fan.
So what row are you guys in 234? So we can come say hello. Or you can come say hi. We're row V?
Yeah, we're just row V. Just
near the entrance.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really happy for VA though.
It's. I mean, it's a good place for him to be.
Yeah. So Jeanette says row V.
Oh, they're right down
way up front. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, those are loyal season ticket fans. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Hey, let's say we get the Buttershirt family on our post game. There we go.
Oh, they're right behind the drummers.
Okay.
All right, so we'll be able to find them easily. All right, but yeah, VA. I wish him well. Just not against BC. So our Calgary games are later on in the season. So hopefully by then we would have figured them out, or some other team would have figured out how to beat Calgary, and then we can build on top of that game plan.
Well, it was Calgary's D that figured out McSimic, right?
Yes, that's right.
But that's because we had receivers that aren't built to block.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see. It's still a long season, and VA runs hot and then runs cold, right? So yeah. We've seen this movie. I mean, he's been with us the last couple, 2 to 3 years. So and he's been very good for us.
Yeah, but yesterday, his first drive ended up in a pick in the end zone.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, this we might see the bad VA, but no, he was able to pick right up and still have that confidence. So we'll see.
Yeah, right now it's just like good VA and better VA. That's what's going on this year so far.
Well, he stumbled one week. He stumbled one week. He had the loss, and it was on him. But
but he was still good.
On against Ottawa, I don't know about good. I mean,
okay.
It was pretty. I mean, it was a pretty terrible game, man. So it's not a signature CFL game, if you guys know what I mean. It was 1-1 in the second quarter, Greg. Remember I was showing you the
yes, yes.
The hockey. You're like, is this a hockey game?
It was a defensive game.
So
let's be smashing watermelons on Saturday, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's 9:29. So let's call it a night. Thanks everyone for joining us. It was a great win. It was really good to see that our team is improving in a lot of aspects. So for those of you who are going to be at the game in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan coming here, please come say hi. Okay, we're what again? 240.
246.
246 row V.
Row V.
Come by.
Right
We'll get a selfie
We'll get a selfie and
yeah,
we'll chat. Yeah.
see you there, Nathan.
All right. Okay. Take care, guys. Have a great evening. Have a great week, and see you next week.
Go Lions.
Go Lions.
Go Lions. Bye bye.